Hello, YouTube and Twitch. My name is Myles Anderson. I'm a professional joke explainer, and today I am finishing the explanation of Burn the Boats by Joseph Rogan, one of the best comedians working today. Thank you so much for joining me live here. We've got on two platforms, Twitch and YouTube, just in case one of them gets taken down because it's too woke. We're going to get right to it. Thank you again for joining us and explain the last half of Burn the Boats. Now, a little recap on the first part of this live stream. We were looking at the first half of Burn the Boats, which was covering a lot of great material, alien conspiracies, different kinds of gas stations in Texas, and we had a lot of cum, a lot of dicks, and a lot of fucking. And I think that most of the special is going to end that way. It is called Burn the Boats, so I am hoping for some maritime humor, maybe some references to a sextant, which is the funniest sounding instrument that a captain uses to navigate the high seas. So thanks again for joining me, and we're going to get right to it here and finish Joseph Rogan's Burn the Boats comedy special. I hope you all understand why he's so funny after this. All right, so where we left off, he was just talking about fucking. So we've got talking about a strap-on, and talking about how lesbians don't have the lower back strength to fuck good. And I forgot I have a writing tool here. So a strap-on is sort of like it's like a penis, right? Which is like this. And just imagine in a 3D image, both balls are sort of, I guess you could add like another ball on the back there. And so this would have it has like a strap with like a leather belt, and you can decorate these. You can have like a big Confederate flag belt buckle on the back if you want, but this is what lesbians wear to have sex with each other. Anyway, moving on here. See, the audience is laughing at the end of this bit. Of the lesbians fucking with a strap on here. Do strap-ons have balls? I mean, they have to. The balls are the most important part of sex because it's the slapping of the balls against the woman that activates the pleasure centers. For the record, so this is back to Joe here. For the record, I'm not even remotely homophobic. I'm the opposite. I wish I was gay. It looks way easier. You're hanging out with only guys. No one can get pregnant. No more lies. I wish. And if I was gay, I get to use that F word again. Oh, how I miss it. So this is sort of like a joke in the Gringo Poppy. I remember Brendan made a similar little joke about how it would be so cool to be gay hanging out with the guys. A lot of comedians are making that joke these days. Again, like I said, because being gay is a very funny thing. And the audience agrees with a big laugh and cheer here. Oh, how I miss it. So Tony Hinchcliffe can still say it, but you know why. Yeah, because Tony Hinchcliffe is a homosexual man. Allegedly, Joe Rogan said he's making a joke that Tony's gay. A lot of people make jokes about Tony being gay. Tony makes jokes about Tony being gay, which would be funny, but he is pretty red, and I don't know if I've seen a gay person be as red as Tony Hinchcliffe. So I think that he's mostly straight. I don't know. You guys can deliberate about that. Maybe we'll have a discussion if Tony's gay or not. But he hasn't come out and explicitly said that he's gay. He just says he makes jokes about being gay. I used to throw that word around like a beach ball at a concert. Just wee. Big act out here. It was a fun word. Made conversations more festive. It was fun. And rarely did it have anything to do with gay men. But they took it just like they took the fucking rainbow, all right? So this is just like Dave Smith, our most recent video. He also makes a joke about not being able to say the F word. So a lot of these guys, again, they kind of workshop with each other when they're coming up with these comedy specials. Audience cheers. because they're men and they're greedy, they'll tell you, you shouldn't want to say that word. You say that word, you're a homophobic piece of shit, or you're calling your friend to wish him a happy birthday. What about the fun way? There's no gay people on this phone call unless the government's gay. Because, they listen. There's only one problem with that word, and that problem is that there are people in the world, although there's less than there's ever been, thankfully, there are people in the world that hate gay men, but nobody hates gay women. That's why you can say dyke. So you're allowed to say that. You can say dyke at work. So I think that's because this is also, it's just a word for like a Dutch word for a dam, basically, as well. So I think Dutch people are allowed to say it as much as they want. They're like, I'll look out for her. Nobody cares. Nobody even fake gets mad. Nobody hates gay women. In fact, men don't even think they're real. Yes. I certainly don't think that they're real. If they are, I'm just news to me. Women believe in gay men. If a woman sees two hot guys kiss, she's like, they're gay. A guy sees two women kiss, he's like, they think they're gay, but that's just because they ain't got a piece of this sweet dick, kid. Yes. So that's sweet dick is a funny phrase because it implies an affection, but also a flavor. Every man that has ever lived, you give him 3 drinks, he thinks he can fix a lesbian. Like, dude, I'm the one. I'm fucking Highlander. That's a reference to the Toyota vehicle. It's like an SUV. It's a little bit smaller. Generally not that good on gas, but was fairly reliable. The hybrid versions have had some problems. I got the tools. I can fix her. And also, for whatever reason, men don't seem to care if girls have done gay stuff. Again, I'm just a journalist, and I report what we see in the field. And I've noticed if you're talking to men and they're being honest, gentlemen in this room, I want you to imagine you're on a date with a woman and she's the one. If you get lucky, you will find the one. But sometimes you're not with the one. It doesn't seem like that's going to happen. One bad relationship after another. You're so frustrated. Am I ever going to find someone I fucking love? And then finally, you're on a date with the perfect person. She's so fucking cool. You're drinking margaritas. You're imagining having a family together. And she's like, imitating woman. In the interest of full disclosure, I just want you to know that for the last 10 years, I was in a relationship with a woman. So women sound like that, which is funny. I imagine Joe would do a funnier impression of that. I'm just doing my best here, but that would be, I imagine, something that he would sound like when he says this. The man whoops, normal voice again. So there's the woman voice and there's back to normal voice here. And you're like, "Low Myles, woo." You call your friends up, dude, it's like a barn find. Yeah, it's like a 69 Mustang that was under a tarp. A lady had it. She took it out every couple days and licked it. Look at all the rubber on those tires. Look at the suspension. Laughs. I don't know why men think that way, but I know some women got very angry. This lady waited for me after a show to lecture me. She waited for me. She's like, imitating woman. You don't care if the woman does gay things if you don't care about the woman. And I'm like, okay, Socrates. Like, what? Why don't you write that shit down on rock so people find it in the future and could read it, you fucking imbecile? Oh, dude, we just roasted this lady. So a lot of the humor here is just Joe dunking on this fucking idiot. I hate dumb people that are confident, Also wrong. I hate dumb people that are wrong and confident because she's wrong. Like, I love my wife more than anyone I've ever met in my life. She's my favorite person. Audience cheers. So let's just talk a little bit about the building blocks of this joke here. So he's talking about how a guy wants a lesbian woman because they've been used less. I don't know if you know this, but again, I follow a lot of medical doctors like Joe Rogan and Russell Brand, and the more a woman receives a penis, the skin gets worn away and the vagina becomes larger and larger and larger over time. A woman at the end of her life will have a vagina with a circumference of basically like a basketball. But if a woman's in a lesbian relationship and the lesbian is pegging her with a lesbian penis, because the strap-ons are mostly balls, the slapping of the balls will not carve out that vaginal tunnel as much. So just letting you guys know a little bit about how that stuff works. If any of you are kids who are watching the stream, I just cover your ears. A minute to go. Audience laughs. If I come home tonight and I was like, "Hey, baby, how was your night?" She's like, back to imitating woman. Fucking Melissa tricked me into licking her pussy. Melissa. So it's funny to use a stereotypical woman name, especially if it's a white woman. Like we've discussed, white women are the funniest women because they're the most annoying ones. I'd be like, well, don't do that a lot. I'll be walking that fine line between creepy and supportive. Like, if that happens again, make sure I'm there in case that bitch goes crazy. Yes. No women think that way. Zero. No woman thinks that way. People say there's no difference between men and women. It's just cultural grunts. It's important to see he's using all of the sounds that can come out of the body here. Someone saying, Theologist says, tricked her. Yes. Women can trick other women. See, women are masters of deception and trickery and lies and intrigue. I mean, that's just common sense knowledge. I talked about this the other day on the Rumble stream. Common sense is like when you know all of the gender and racial stereotypes. It's just common sense. No women think that way. I don't care how open-minded they are. I don't care how progressive you are. If you're a heterosexual married woman imitating women, okay, so he does a woman imitation there. So it must have been like an act out. He probably did like a funny like little wrist, like a loose wrist action. Maybe he like pretended to walk on high heels or something very silly like that. Again, very, very funny because imagining a man as a woman is a very funny thing. And you're at home just reading a book, waiting for my man. And he comes to the door. You are not going to fucking believe what happened. Already, the audience is already laughing in anticipation of the gay act that's about to be enacted here. So they're already laughing because they know what's going to happen. What happened? Mike tricked me into sucking his dick again. Yes. Audience laughs. Gets a huge laugh. Yeah, women deceive and men punch. That is common sense. You guys in the chat, you all know this. So a woman, it's possible for a woman to deceive her friend into licking her vagina, but impossible for a man to deceive his friend into doing that because men don't deceive. They punch and they grunt and they do roofing. I don't know. It's crazy. Okay, what is going on? Are you gay? Normal voice. No, Mike is just really tricky. They're going to say that's a homophobic joke, and I'm going to say how? Because the gay guy wins. That dumb straight guy keeps sucking his dick. That's a W for the gays. They want to tell you you can't make jokes about them. If you want equal love, you have to have equal jokes. Yes, because that's how we find out if you're annoying. Exactly. You have to do equal jokes across the board around about everyone. Again, I've said this before, I think, on stream or in past Jokes Explains, but civil rights trickles down from the comedy club. famously in the 1960s, Martin Luther King would go and see stand-up all the time, and he'd watch stand-up comedians do jokes about civil disobedience and protesting, and that inspired him to do it. But if it wasn't funny, he wouldn't have done it. Yeah, if we can't joke around about you, we know you take yourself too seriously. Amen. They're trying to say they're hateful. It's hateful. Listen, I don't hate anybody. I love everyone, and I love gay men. But I think about gay men the same way I think about mountain lions. Hey, if I'm happy they're real, but I don't want to be surrounded by them. Yes, because famously, mountain lions will try to seduce you. They're dudes who fuck dudes. I don't like my chances, okay? They're not unicorns. They're just men who fuck men. And every man who's ever lived is a shifty cum salesman. A shifty cum salesman. Now this is a funny phrase. It gives you a funny image of a man with a suitcase full of jizz going door to door just trying to feed his family. All of them, 100%, especially the ones who say they're not. Every man who's ever lived is a foreman of a small 24-hour sperm factory with a shaky agreement with the union. You got one warehouse, that's your balls. Funny, because you imagine the balls, which are part of the penis, which is a humorous mechanism. One delivery truck, that's your dick. And the packages are constantly stacking up, and you're like, hey, we got to get this product out of here. And if your product sucks, you become a male feminist. And these are the facts. Yes. Oh my God. So a lot of good penis, not only penis humor here, but again, more medical. Hey, look at that. One of our things worked. One of our Twitch alerts. We are entering the 20th century. Thank you for the raid, online VCR. Anyway, I got distracted. I'm trying to explain the medical situation that he's describing. So we learned a lot about how penises are funny, but also the dick and balls. We've got the balls, which are full of cum, and if the cum isn't emptied, and guys, you know this, they'll explode, they'll burst. And making this funny analogy that it's like a warehouse and there's workers and there's jizz, and it's a kind of a callback to the beginning of Burn the Boats. He has mentioned cum and penises already. Aliens were fucking him with penises and all sorts of great stuff. Welcome all new followers. I'm glad you could join just now. I assume if you're here for medical information, this is a kind of a comedy explaining channel. We're doing Joe Rogan, and he talks a lot about penises and cum and jizz and balls. So I'm just sort of explaining how that stuff works for everybody here. And they get a huge cheer because they've laughed and they've learned. Also, a male feminist is just a funny thing because it's like an oxymoron, right? Like if you're a guy, you can't be a feminist because feminists are, they support the advancement of women's rights. And why would men do that? Because it's men. And, it's kind of two teams, right? Like men, you got to win because if the women take over, then how are we going to get rid of all that cum, right? Anyway, that's what it is. And some of these guys are trying to get rid of gay jizz. Yes, gay jizz. Gay jizz is separate than regular jizz because gay jizz only seeks out, is homosexual. So if a gay man jizzes on the ground, you'll see that the gay jizz will start trying to seduce any straight jizz that's around there. So they just they got the gay gene. I love them, and I love everybody. You can't control your genes, obviously. It's a gene thing, we can't. Like, you ever get a gene test? I did one of those. I found out I'm 57% more Neanderthal than regular people. Audience laughs. Yes. Yeah, I'm fucking handicapped. Yeah, Europeans killed my people too. Where the fuck's my casino, huh? Yes. So, This is a big historical callback joke. This is a joke about the Native American genocide, and generally not a funny subject, but casinos are funny. So that's a stereotype that Native Americans run casinos on reserve land, and so everyone in the audience has common sense. They know this, so they know it's time to laugh because they recognize that stereotype. Also, Joe calling himself a Neanderthal is very funny, very um, very self-deprecating. Very very good stuff. Babadook says, "Is genocide funny?" No, genocide is not funny, but jokes about genocide is funny. That's the difference, right? Like it's not okay to kill a bunch of people, but joking about killing a bunch of people, eh? I mean, you gotta make light of it. It's risky though. It has to be funnier than it is dark. That's the rule of dark humor. And so, luckily, here in this joke, reminding the audience that Native Americans run casinos on reserve land is a perfect joke because it reminds them of that thing that they all know. I want my cave back, says Joe. That was a big number. I showed my wife. I told you this wasn't regular stupid, but she had a really good point. She goes, but all people came from cave people, right? Which is a fucked up thing to think, that everyone in this room is here because somewhere in our ancestry, someone had sex before they figured out doors. That was a long time. Thousands and thousands of years, no doors, just wild monkey people trying to run away from cats. This thing we're doing right now, this is so recent. Civilized society where a bunch of cool people can hang out together. We don't know each other, have a wonderful time, drink cocktails. Yeah, human civilization is only like 10,000 years old, basically. This is so recent. But there's such a thin veneer on this society. That's why. So he's doing like big society commentary here. He's a thinking man's comedian. This is not just like regular run of the mill observational comedy. Joe is addressing how we all live and think. But there's such a thin veneer on society. That's why you have those thoughts. You know, those thoughts. I can't believe I'm thinking that. I would never do that. How about this? I know you have this thought when you're in your car and the light just turns green, but the scooters keep coming and you just want to go to jail. When you're in the car and the light turns green, but the scooters keep coming. I'm not sure what this means. This might be like an Austin specific thing. I don't know of this phrase. What does the scooters keep coming mean? I'll have to check the chat on that one. And you just want to go to jail? I want to see masks fly off and backpacks. Fuck you for feeling safe. You know those thoughts? You don't do it, but you know those thoughts? How about this? You ever be in line at Starbucks and there's a cop in front of you? Okay, so this might be a reference to, so I think he's thinking about having homicidal thoughts while he's driving, which is a callback to a Bill Burr, very famous Bill Burr joke from about 18 years ago at the Just for Laughs festival. You may have seen it, and you might recognize the reference here, and you'll probably laugh. And you're like, I think I can take his gun. I'm going to hit him now and John Wick the fuck out of this room. You don't do it, but you think it. That's why we need homeowners associations, IRS payments, student loans, credit card debt. We got to be distracted. We can't keep society going with those thoughts. I have my most fucked up thoughts talking to really smart people because I can't keep up. So I just start thinking my own things. Audience laughs. You're getting a lot of these. I bet they're not thinking this because I'm friends with Elon Musk, which is the intellectual equivalent of a boy and his dog. Yes, Elon Musk is the richest man in the world and therefore the smartest man on the planet. Everybody knows that. That's just how it works. The founding fathers described this in the Constitution. That's the rules. Gadgeway says there's a video, YouTube channel called Elephant Graveyard that did a video about this special. It is perhaps the best YouTube video of 2024 and absolutely high art. Yes, Elephant Graveyard. It's an interesting channel. Yeah, it does seem critical though. Like I agree with Brian. It was a very interesting video. I appreciate what he's trying to do, but it was quite it was quite critical of Joe Rogan, which seems strange to me considering that he's one of the greatest comedians working. So I did watch the video just to see what the other side is saying. But I generally I have to disagree with Elfin Great Art. I do appreciate his editing and the pacing. Very good video essay, but I think we're in a golden age of comedy right now. He's so much smarter. When you're around your dog, he's like, "You're different. Tell me what to do." This is funny. So this is a little insight into Joe and Elon's friendship here. Joe and Elon are good friends, and Elon is you can literally crunch the numbers to see how much smarter Elon is than Joe. Like he's signed like $100 million deal with Spotify or something. He's probably got hundreds of millions of dollars. But Elon, we're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. Like Joe is literally maybe 1% as smart as Elon. When they land, you'll tell him I'm cool. Rogan and his audience laugh. Yes. Okay, so Rogan laughs, and that allows the audience to know it's time to laugh here. I was having a conversation with that guy where he was explaining to me how this rocket ship his company designed is going to move civilization to Mars. Yes, I think that's happening next year. And about how we have to become a multiplanetary species to survive natural disasters. And it's a 6-month journey in this rocket. He's telling me all the calculations, and halfway through him explaining this, I stopped paying attention. And while he's talking, I'm imagining 4 dudes strapped into a rocket on their way to Mars. One guy pulls out a gun, boom, shoots that guy, bang, shoots that guy, boom, blows his brains out, blows his own brains out, leaves one guy alive going, rah, rah, he screams, right? Flying all the way to Mars, strapped next to 3 dead dudes. I don't know why I was thinking that. So I wish I was paying attention. I'm talking to the smartest guy alive, and I'm thinking, should I tell him? Yeah, so this is called attention deficit disorder, or ADHD, and a lot of people have it now. When you're listening to someone and your mind starts wandering, I assume that's what's happening for a lot of you guys watching this stream right now. If you guys are zoning out and thinking about other stuff, that's totally normal and natural. If I was thinking about maybe adding some videos of me playing Minecraft on part of the screen to keep it a little bit more engaging, but it's just that's the natural way the brain works. It's how it thinks of ideas. If you guys ever go on TikTok and you scroll around for a little while, you'll actually find you have ADHD. We actually did a sketch. Me and Brian did a sketch called I think it was called 30 Seconds to Mars, or 15 Seconds to Mars. It was sort of about the situation. It was so funny that we have a similar joke as Joe Rogan. Maybe Joe watched the sketch. I should probably tell him my idea. He doesn't know you can get a gun up your ass. I had a whole backstory. That guy had an affair with that guy's wife and tricked him to go to Mars. Yeah, he's not. Elon's not thinking these things. If evolution's real, that guy's ahead of us. Yes, Elon is definitely a more evolved person than the rest of us. We just can't comprehend his thought processes. I don't know if evolution's real. I've done zero research. I always say I think it's real because if you don't, people are mean. But it's a terrible story. Like if a moron told you the story of evolution, you'd be like, what happened? Once upon a time, giant lizards ruled the earth. Then a rock came from the sky and killed them. Then a little shrew just kept doing its best. And one day it became a person. Audience laughs. And I thought, yeah, fuck that story. I'm sticking with Jesus. Yeah, it's a dumb story. Evolution is kind of a dumb story. And the audience agrees with it. It's too complicated, and it also just doesn't make any sense. How would we evolve from mammals and cells? I haven't seen it happen, but I've seen churches, and I've heard the story, so it just makes sense. It's just common sense. That story sucks a fat dick, son, because even if you're right, you have no incentive. If we all go to darkness, I think I'm going to heaven. I sleep like a baby. You're on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medication. You're a fucking idiot for not believing in dumb shit. You sleep better. Look, I believe in evolution. I just don't think all the monkeys cross the finish line at the exact same time. I have a feeling there's probably some trial and error, And I have a feeling somewhere in my ancestry, someone was like, fuck it, one more time with a monkey. Hey. So again, he's making fun of the fact that he is ape-like. And the audience sees his body and laughs. Joe Rogan, I mean, I could do a quick diagram here. Like a normal person, right? Just kind of has like a head, and their arms are like all sort of equal length like this. And then, but Joe Rogan, right? Like he'll well, here if I to do a measurement scale here, and that's like a normal human here. And then you've got Joe, right? And he, like if you have sort of a Neanderthal body, his arms go all the way down to the floor like this, and then he's got big hands on the bottom, and then he makes he says very funny jokes, and that's his superpower. It's sort of like when you're blind, you have no senses, other senses, you get enhanced in other aspects. Joe is much shorter, but to make up for that, his brain is very funny. Probably late in the game too, like at the buzzer, if you know, evolution is probably going to take a long ass time. Not like the day we woke up, not like one day we woke up and we were people. It was thousands of years, a lot of gray area. And if you know human men, there had to be a moment in history where a group of guys had to pull their buddy aside and go, hey man, you got to stop fucking monkeys. Dude, she's cool. She does sign language. Like sign language, look over the monkeys going like this. Okay, so he's doing like a sign language joke. Man, I don't think that counts. I don't think that's real sign language. Okay, so the humor here, the joke here is the thought of a human, fully formed human, fucking a monkey, which is a very funny visual, very funny thing to imagine. Again, we've got probably you can imagine jizz in there again, which is a funny substance. Fucking monkeys, fucking in general. Really great scene to imagine. Also, a lot of comedians have made the joke about that's how AIDS started, was by people fucking monkeys. Because then you get to work in the dark joke of AIDS plus the funny image of someone fucking a monkey. And that's sort of a classic joke that dozens of comedians have shared. Men hollering. Oh, man, that's a great sound, eh? Men hollering. Jeans are so weird. Thank you. Jeans are weird because people are proud of them, but didn't do shit to earn them. But we're all guilty of it. If you do a DNA test and find out you got some cool stuff in there, like I found out I have 1.6% African in my DNA. That's so cool. And also, this is very similar to the Dave Smith special that just came out on our channel that I explained. He also has a joke about ancestry and DNA tests. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a booklet that comes out every year that's handed out to stand-up comedians who are one of the 250 top comedians. They get a booklet, and there's like sort of a list of topics that everyone should be talking about. This sort of outlined, just to make sure the conversations and the common sense stays the same. Thank you. It's all dick. It's all dick. It's not a big number. That's not my point. Here's my point. 1.6 is not a lot of African. I don't know what percentage African you have to be where you can freely say the N-word. That's the first thing you think about. I mean, we all think about that. But from my personal experience, I will tell you that 1.6 appears to be insufficient. So the joke here is that he tried it out in his first comedy special that I explained on this channel. You can hear him do that, and it actually does work pretty well in the special that we watched together. But the juice is not worth the squeeze, kids. Yeah, nobody gives a fuck about context, so I don't say the N-word anymore, but I definitely have, and I would lie to you. But there's a lot of evidence, yes. I never said it to be racist, but I'm not racist. If I was going to quote the great Richard Pryor bit, I wouldn't fuck it up by saying the N-word. I'd just say the actual word. I thought everybody would understand. But then somebody made a compilation of every time I ever said that word over the last 15 years, and they made a YouTube video, and it turns out that looks racist as fuck. Yes. So this is not only a great, hilarious comedy special, but it's a good PR thing. It's good to change the optics. It's good to let people know that you've seen the videos, you know what people are saying, and you get it, and it's fine, and it's funny, and you're still a good guy. Even to me, and I'm watching this and I'm going, stop saying it. You're not allowed to say it. I put my cursor over the video like 4 more minutes. Oh my God, I got to move to Florida. I got to go live with the swamp people now because I said me a magic word. Here's the thing about these words. You can't say them, but that's unfortunate because words are just supposed to be a sound you make so I know what you're thinking. I can't wait until we can read minds because a lot of people out there say, hey, have a nice day, and they want you to get AIDS. Audience laugh. So, yeah, times change. It was totally hilarious and fine to say the N-word until 2016. Okay, I don't think the sound you make with your face is our big problem, and I don't think we should ban words because some of them are fun to say. He's sort of talked about the F word. He's talked about you can't say the N word anymore. Again, similar to a lot of the specials we've explored on this channel. A lot of the comedians do make a similar complaint here. Where are we going back here? Yeah, I think you should pay. I think you should pay money to use the most offensive words, and that money goes to cancer research. I think we can fix cancer. Here's my thought. Every time you renew your car registration, you can buy 5. Now, of course, the way around saying this word is you can say the R word, or you can say retard, which is Italian, short for retardando. Which means to slow down, is a musical term. So retard tags. Imagine if that's all it took. Imagine if retard tags cured cancer. How would CNN even report on it? Audience laughs again. But a lot of people will tell you, hey, you should never say that word. And that. You know what? I agree. You should never say that word. So that's the joke here is that he said it. You guys, he just said it. He said it like 3 times there. And then he says, I never said it. Lucius Duncan, you are seriously one of the greatest YouTubers of all time. Seriously, like you're up there with Fred, Royal William Johnson, FoozyTube, Logan Paul, AMD, Jake Paul, need I go on all-star status. Holy shit, $10 donation. Lucius Duncan, thank you so much, sir. That is wonderfully generous of you and so amazing to include me with all those very physically fit. Jake and Logan, I've been watching them for a long time, and I drink Prime as much as I can. That $10 is going to go toward a lot of Prime. Thank you so much for supporting the channel and supporting all the viewers on the channel with your wonderful donation. You can see down here the my capitalist tip feed is utterly motionless and not working in any way, but I'm going to write your name down on a physical piece of paper. Maybe I should just do that and then just have it behind me. Thank you so much. Like if you're a good person and you're talking to a child with a developmental disorder, you would never dream of using that word, right? But if you're talking to a regular grown man who made a documentary about the world being flat, yes, yeah, he doesn't have extra chromosomes. He's fucking, yeah, so retardando. And if you don't say it that way, he doesn't know how you really feel, and he doesn't get the feedback we all need to learn and grow. A lot of people say, you're a hypocrite. You'll say the R word, but you won't say the N word. Yes. Because I'm more afraid of black people than I am of retard. Um, yeah, that's funny. That's a funny thing. Um, so uh, yeah, again, it's just kind of funny because he's saying he's making people say these words in their head, so that's great. Duh, you don't know how jokes work. Oh, he says it. He does it here. Hey, look at he's back, baby. So he tiptoed around it, but he's got a lot of audience goodwill here. He knows the audience has a lot of common sense, and again, um, this is, you can say fagot, which is I believe the Italian or German word for bassoon. Not the French word, Brian. We discovered that later. I should have researched it. It's all just supposed to be fun, funsies. Words are for fun, kids. Try explaining that. Why did you laugh at that? You got to go to work tomorrow. It was really funny. The problem isn't words, folks. The problem is phones. Yes, yes. Completely agree. We have these, yes, complaint boxes we carry around with us. That is the main, a lot of people don't talk about that. The main problem of phones is that it allows people to complain more. There's a lot of articles in the liberal mainstream media saying phones are bad because they distract us and they isolate us and they make us feel like we're participating in a community, but we're actually just feeding an algorithm and targeted ads. But that's all bullshit. The worst part of phones is that it allows liberals to complain. We're constantly checking in to see what the most complainy people think about everything, and it's not a lot of people, and it's affecting culture. Yes, this is what most people don't know. 90% of all tweets are made by 10% of people, and those people are 100% retardando. So yes, and I thought that most tweets were actually computers in Macedonia, but it turns out that they are just retardando people. It's all phones. It's being connected to everywhere, and it's weird. It's weirdly connected. Like, I never leave my house without my phone. I leave my kids at home all the time. Hey, audience laughs. I love my kids way more than I love my phone, but I will let certain people watch my kids, you know? Like my wife's home. She's an amazing grandmother. Never trust that bitch on my phone. Hey, get out of here, Nana. That's my real brain. Could you imagine unlocking your phone, giving it to your wife's mom, going, I'll be back in an hour? Whoa, yeah, no, that would be no good because then you'd see all the complaints. She'd be like, oh man, Joe's fucking a liberal who's complaining all the time, right? No, you wouldn't want that, and the crowd laughs because of that. Great stuff. We're missing the stool humping, says Danny Miranovic. Yes. Okay, so you do have to imagine this whole time. So there's a Joe. There's the stool here. Let's do this little stool here. I guess comedy stools are here. That doesn't look so good. Let's try this again. Comedy stool is taller, right? It's got long legs on it, and it goes down like this. And then and here's Joe, right? And he's like this. And he has long arms, so he's able to grab both sides of the stool, and then he will thrust. He's thrusting into the stool most of this time. He can actually thrust up into the stool. It's a lot more realistic, just because of his stature. So it's visually incredible to watch. Look, read it. He says he's gonna kill you and fuck me. So this is an old lady reading Joe's stuff. He sent that to all his friends, and they all thumbs upped. Look at all the thumbs up. These fucking psychopaths. Oh, and there's a lot of pictures of other guys' dicks on his phone. You know about those? Oh, so it was all like a grandma impression there. I send my wife pictures of other dudes' dicks just to see if she's paying attention. Hey, that's so funny. That's good. So that's a little funny game to play with your partner. sending him other just random genitals in the daytime. Uh, of course, this is kind of like a Joe thing you can do when you. That's a game you can play if you have enough money that nobody has a job in your house. You can just sort of send them pornographic images and have a good laugh. Unfortunately, if you're a huge loser who has to have a job, you can't be getting those pictures at you at the workplace because you might get in trouble. But Joe describing his funny life there makes you laugh because you then imagine how fun that would be. If you want to find out who's got a good jewel, you got to bring them a fake diamond. You got to stay crafty or those hoes get bored. Every day's a fucking game. Hoes, do you get bored? And hoes, of course, is women. So this is women, in case you guys don't know. There's a lot of different words for women: hoes, broads, birds. There's been a lot, but hose is one of the funnier ones because it's also like a garden tool. Queenan says, please perform or lecture in Arizona someday. It's a rad state with like-minded capitalists. I would love to. Oh my God, $5. Thank you so much, Queenan, for the donation. And thank you for the suggestion to go to Arizona where the capitalists live. I'm going to go there. I'd love to go there soon at some point. Hopefully before the old trade war gets too hilarious. But thanks so much for the donation. Thanks for the suggestion. I love the Southwest. I love cactuses, and I love low state income tax. So thank you very much for that. No, not really. What really? No, my wife's mom is a lovely lady. She's 75 years old and single. Nice. So I said to my wife, why don't we take her to one of those nice places where the guys her age, where there's guys her age? She goes, no, they're all crazy and they get STDs. She has an article about a rash of STDs in nursing. STDs, yes, old people fucking in nursing homes. This is another great premise. It's another great sort of area of comedy here that's being done a lot because it's so good. And it automatically is funny off the top because you're imagining old people fucking. And you imagine old people fucking, you imagine old guys' balls and how long they are. And so it conjures up all sorts of funny imagery, and the laughs start right away. Okay, this is the difference between you and me, because if there was a place where I could take my grandpa and he would definitely get herpes, I would fill that old dude up with so much Viagra that he goes deaf. I'd give him a couple extra twists of his mustache and push him towards those old hose. Let's go, Grandpa. I'd be in that parking lot with a conch shell. Every man wants his grandfather to be the savage of the nursing home. You go visit Grandpa. He's got an army helmet on, open bathrobe, bottle of Jack, big old hard on, blacked out naked old ladies in his room. He's like, I fuck and I wait for the Lord. So this is a whole scene that he's painting here. And it's a relatable joke. I mean, there's not a person in the chat right now that doesn't want their grandpa to be fucking hard in that old folks home. It's just so true. It's so fun to imagine that, and it's encouraging. And you want the old guy to be happy, you know? The audience agrees. Big applause. Online VCR says, can we put that description into one of those image generators? Yeah, careful with that. I would like to do that, but I think that the stream would be taken down if I did that. He describes, if it's a funny scene, but he's got his grandpa here. Grandpa's got an army helmet on, like this. That's what an army helmet is. And he's got his arms out, bathrobe, and he's got he's got his dick and balls rock hard up like this. Probably blasting jizz everywhere. So just all around, very, very funny image. Glad you guys laughed because my wife didn't think of any of that shit I just said was funny. She's like, don't write it down. And I'm like, you're too close to this baby. She goes, who wants to have sex with a 75-year-old woman? I'm like, 102-year-old man. Hey, yes. Even in their old age, men do want to fuck women that are much younger than them. He'd be pumped. She's a good one. She was born after the war. They had better food. He survived Nam. Let them fuck. This is bullshit. You don't mean it. You don't want that for your grandfather. That's what he wanted. He told me. I'm not guessing. I was very close with my grandfather. I got drunk with my grandpa before he died. I go, Grandpa, how do you want to die? He goes, I want a Russian nurse riding the old schlazul, with her hands on my neck. And right when I'm about to nut, I want to look her in the eye and go, fuck you and fuck Stalin. Imitates choking. Go, wow. So what a great story. What a funny scene. And it is, yeah, Karachi says old people want to have sex still, apparently. Very funny thought. They're so old. And it's amazing that they still want to do it. But they do, because they all get herpes, and that I've learned that from many comedians. But this is just a funny scene of Joe getting drunk with his grandpa, and his grandpa describing the way he wants to get fucked later on. So normally, because I'm a huge prude, I'd be kind of like a little disturbed if my grandpa was talking about nutting in a nurse. But Joe he's relaxed, he's fun, he's having a good time. It's the audience, it's a ridiculous scene. The audience laughs. This is why we have comics to say stuff like this to us, because normally we don't talk like this. But when you see someone talking like this, it's wild and outlandish, and you just gotta laugh. And they do big laughs and big applause. Bam, I had a great life. I will never forget that day because I was 6 years old, and the punchline is that so he was getting drunk with his grandpa, and his grandpa's talking about nutting in a nurse, and it turns out the whole time it was a 6-year-old Joe Rogan, which is a inappropriate age to be hearing a story like that. So huge setup, right? He's got this big setup. He's got the setup here is his grandpa nutting, and then the punchline is that it's just a little baby Joe Rogan, and he's just like this, and he's like, what? So all in all, very, very funny. San Antonio, I love you to death. Thank you very much. This was a lot of fun. Holy shit. Audience cheers and applauds. Oh my God. So this was his closing bit here. Was the whole grandpa bit. San Antonio goes insane. Massive laughs. If you can imagine where Joe is, it's like there's like a stadium here, and then it's like similar like a Coliseum. And then here's like Joe is he's a dot here. And then in the audience there's 15,000 people surrounding him, and then there's just Joe. So that's the scene you can imagine here. Must have been a magical night. We did it. This is the first time I've done anything like this live. It was fun. I can only do it because you people are so fucking cool. So that was a live stand-up, unedited, similar to like what we're doing here, just a live show. Thanks for coming out. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Rock music plays. Yes, probably. Kid Rock. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's fucking go. Thank you so much. Thank you. We're part of each other's lives forever. Thank you. Audience cheering and applauding. Rock music fades out. Holy shit, guys. That was unbelievable. Unfortunately, I can't comment on this because there's this is a PDF, and you can't comment on PDFs. But what a journey! So many callbacks to the different dicks and penises. If I could type in dick 15 times, dick. There's a dick there. How many times does he say? Does he say jizz? Jizz. Just 2 jizzes. 37 fucks and 35 fuckings. This is why it's such a good tool to Oh, you guys can't. Can you guys not? Yeah, you guys can. Why can't you see that? That's so funny. Oh, because I'm getting AI assistance. But if you guys can see this, 35 fucks, 37 fuckings. That's so. What a master craftsman. He starts with a joke about with cum and jizz, and he ends with a joke with cum and jizz. Wow, we got through that way faster than I thought. Not too bad. Just took about an hour to finish off Joe's special. I feel like what should we look at next? What should we explore on the jokes explained live stream? What else should be explained? We could go through a transcript again. We could Brian, do you have any suggestions of what we could do here? The shop have a new hour. We could look at. I mean, I don't know. I could look at this website. See if we've got any Brendan Schaub on this transcript website here. Scraps from the Loft is what it's called. Because we really haven't gone line for line with Schaub. We've got stand-up comedy transcripts. Ari Shaffir, America's Sweetheart. That's the headline here. I'll just go. I wonder if I can do this for you guys here. Holy shit. Let's look at the front page of this website. These are all some of my favorite comics here. Let me go to the window here. Add window capture. I'm gonna put this to the bottom so it's not fully messing me up here. And I'm gonna show you guys what we're looking at. Okay, let's see if this works. Look at this. Look at what we're looking at here. Some of the top comedy transcripts the last little while here. We got Ari Shaffir, America's Sweetheart, one of my absolute favorite comics. We've done him before, and he's got plants everywhere. We've got Gabriel Iglesias, the legend of Fluffy. You guys remember that Fluffy, the legend of Fluffy, started in the late 1900s and still continues to this day. Bill Maher, is anyone else seeing this? Bill Maher is so fucking awesome. Theo Vaughn, no offense. What do you say we do? We could do a little bit of. What do you guys think about Ari Shaffir? I think he's in the top 250. Comedian Ari Shaffir tackles controversial topics like terrorism, gun violence, racism, and more in this stand-up special with a darkly humorous approach. He explores unexpected perspectives on sensitive and social political issues. I bet he's going to talk about words you can't say. And let me see. Let's try out Ari Shaffir here. We'll do this for. Okay, it starts out with lightning crashes. Should I do a PDF version, or is this decent enough for you guys? Brian, what do you think? Should I PDF it? Should I do it pro? I think I probably can. I'm probably smart enough to do this. Just let it rip? Okay. Lightning crashes. Ari Shaffir says, every town I figured out, every city gets either crack or heroin. Crack and meth or heroin as their chief affliction. And DC's a crack town. Chuckles. So, a little giggle at the beginning here reminds you as time to laugh a little bit. Yeah, it's always been sure, be proud of it. I hate it. Lighthearted piano music plays. Love lighthearted piano music. Yeah, they're too active. Crackheads are. They're always scurrying. Yes, good observation. Can't pin them down. Unpredictable movements. They're like a new snowboarder ahead of you. Uh, like, man, make a full turn. Always like looking for a trash can to rifle through or a cop to stand nearby to act normal around. Laughs. Now, I don't know if this is audience laugh or Ari laugh. Because it's not being specific. It was good in the Joe Rogan special. It was telling us when the audience was laughing. This one's just telling us general laughs. So you can sort of have to infer here, but it seems like that was an audience laugh. And they always want human contact. Yeah, classic crackheads. Only when they have visible cuts on their body. That's the only time. Hey, you got $1? So that's like a crackhead voice there, I imagine he'd be doing. And you're like, no, you know you can't. How about a handshake? You're dripping blood out of your fingers. No, that's why I prefer heroin. Even when they want to bother you, they don't really have the energy for it, you know? Heroin heads are like, hey man, you gotta, can I get a dollar? So he's like, so this is the crux of the joke here is a funny contrast. So crackheads are full of energy, and this is an impression of a heroin addict actively dying here. Every time you think they're done bending, they're like, no, I have more bend. Have you ever seen one? Have you ever seen a heroin addict fall asleep standing up? It's kind of beautiful if you can get over what it means for your neighborhood. You know, it's such a slow, graceful Tai Chi of failure. Yeah, when I see them slowly falling off, I like to imagine I'm an X-Man and I have super speed and I just run around them making noises like pew, 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 chuckles. No, it's a problem. I don't know what to do. I have no idea how to help. I don't know how to help a meth head. Here's how you help a heroin addict. If you want to help them, put a hat by them and paint them silver. Chuckles softly. So I think that's it. So he chuckles, the audience laughs. I don't know if it'll help. It'll beautify the neighborhood. Trying to focus on the positivity lately. That's what I'm doing in my life. You know, there's so much negative shit in the world, and they agree with this, and it's true. There's a lot of negativity in the world, and people should be more positive. Now look at this big chunk here. So he opens up with a kind of a dark bit about the drug epidemic in North America. But he makes light of it by comparing that, yes, different drugs do have different effects on people. And he also portrays himself as kind of a funny scamp character who's running around and playing games with these people. Also, he makes sure to emphasize that drug addiction is failure. Basically, in the United States, everyone starts out trying to win as best as they can, and only the smartest people win, and they win the most. Elon Musk is evidence of this. He's the smartest, and he's won the most. And the biggest losers end up on heroin and having Ari Shaffir do funny little dances around him. So it's a social commentary, but also, you know, reminding people that those are the rules, and that's how life is. Yeah, woo for the negative. Laughs. Yeah, I think that's a little audience there. Babadook says, isn't Elon an immigrant? Yes. Yes, he is. He is an immigrant. So, yeah, he didn't start out in America trying to win, but I think he always had America in mind. I think he had an America mentality. And that's why he moved to America. America is more of a mindset than a country. I should have reminded you guys about that. But that is true. It's an idea. It's like what the founding fathers said in the Constitution. The pursuit, everyone has the right to the pursuit of the grind set. No, it's everywhere. But I've always found there's an angle on everything that's good. No? Maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe you're like, explain it, Ari, while you're up there. And I'm like, well, there's always, okay, here. Okay. COVID. That's a good example. A lot of people died during COVID. Some of those people were cunts. It's true. In fact, everyone who wore a mask who died got what they deserved. Let's not lose sight of those dead cunts. You know, somebody cut you off in traffic 8 years ago and you go, I hope you die. And then they did, not just the way you were expecting. The Lord works in mysterious ways. We had this old couple live below me in New York. We live like rats in New York. And I got a puppy. It was that fucking big. It was that fucking big. Oh, okay. So he's like showing the size of the dog here. It'd run across the floor and they'd fucking bang with a broom handle. They'd be like, shut the fuck up. A puppy chasing a sock. They'd wait till 9 o'clock. Be like, it's 9:01 p.m. You shut the fuck up there. God, I hate them so much. Well, they don't bang anymore. Yeah, because some hero in China ate an iguana or whatever. I don't know the whole story. So yeah, they died here. I don't have to know. I'm too busy playing with my dog. Focus on the positive. Brock Lichty with a $1 donation. Thank you so much, sir. You've been a consistent donator to the stream, and my God, I wish I could have you in the scrolling capitalist feed that I have there. But it is absolutely non-functional. But in my brain, right behind my eyeballs, there's the name Brock Lichty that is constantly flowing from one ear to the other and right over my retinas. Thank you so much for your donation, and thank you so much for constantly donating, paying your fair share, and supporting all the rest of the chat members who are just walking by this lone violinist in the subway without even so much as a Dogecoin. Thank you so much again. Where are we here? So his neighbors have died. His neighbors are dead now. So we're getting to the huge laugh here coming soon. Blah blah blah. Every time focus on the positive is what I'm trying to tell you. And every time I see a heroin addict, I'm like, that is excellent balance. You know, I once saw one asleep standing up on the New York subway. Nobody understands how wild that is. Have you ever been on a bus or a train and stood up and not held onto a fucking bar? You've tried. We've all tried. The doors are closing. You're arranging your bag like, oh shit. Well, I'll just post up. I should be fine. You know, you're like, I played basketball in high school. There should be no issue. And then within 3 seconds, you're like, fuck. You're just down, just on someone's lap. This guy, 10 stops. Just what is in heroin? I got to research that ingredient and give it to the U.S. gymnastics team. You guys ever watch gymnastics? And he gets some scattered cheers here. So yeah, this joke's about staying positive even in an absurd scenario. Like, you know, you see someone who's addicted to drugs. You know, one of the most negative things you could possibly see, but Ari imagines it in a positive way, thinking, oh, this guy's got great balance because he's able to overdose on the subway, but at the same time remain standing. So super, super funny. Look at that. Let's get rid of that. Super, super funny. And just because of the contrast of the negative versus the positive thing, and that's not how a person would think, but a comedian, with the comedic filter and the way comedians experience the world through their hundreds of billions of brain cells, it just makes you laugh. And he gets some scattered cheers here, which is one level below applause break. So there's laughs. So I should say chuckles, then laughs, then scattered cheers, then applause break. So he's almost at the very tippy top there on that one. Yeah, Olympics, right? It's a weird sport. It's about gymnastics here. Any other time you watch gymnastics, you are a pedophile. I get some laughs here. So I haven't heard that before, but I guess that's something that people think. The whole sport is 12-year-olds in bathing suits stretching, but for 2 weeks every 4 years, you're a patriot. You know who loves the Olympics more than anybody? pedophiles. Yeah. They're just at home going, I can't believe this is on NBC. This is wild. No more dark web for Bobby. Yeah, they're like, next up, men's basketball. Like, no, boo, no, more boys. I watch gymnastics for the same reason I watch NASCAR, for the failures. Yeah, I want to see it bad too. Really want to see it bad. I want to see, I've never seen this. I want to see this in gymnastics. Flip, 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 neck. So he's wanting so I think a lot of Ari's comedy comes from him wanting to see the worst thing, or him being the worst possible person, and like a devil's advocate. So this is part of his shtick. I think Ari in real life is probably a very kind and generous person, but he's playing this a super mean psychopath on stage, for the amusement of the crowd, because normal people wouldn't think that way. They wouldn't want to see a fatal gymnastics injury, especially if it is a young person. But he implies that he would like to see that, which is very, very funny. Space Station Willie says, hard to understand without seeing Joe's facial expression jokes. It's true. It is a lot of the body comedy and face comedy you can't see. This whole special is brand new. This Ari Shaffir special is brand new, and it's out, I think, on Netflix. And Netflix is they're tough with the copyrights. So best I can do is reading the transcript. But I feel like it's still hilarious, even though you can't see his face and body move around. These jokes are just so masterfully written, and the premises are so good, that it's still very funny, and I am internally laughing very, very hard right now. You got to make his faces, Myles. It's hard for me to make Ari Shaffir's faces. He's such a master of it. I haven't watched it. I remember the last time I explained him on the channel, he was doing mostly crowd work, and he was so good at crowd. He was able to get the crowd to do crowd work with itself, and he actually automated the comedy job, which is kind of the dream. Yeah, I've got problems. I just want to hear the announcer go, cut away right now. I'm going to be sick. Yeah, so he's describing the gymnastics death here. You know, don't you want to say, I saw it before they scrubbed it from the internet? I saw it live. Never seen that, but I have seen failure on a smaller level, like when they mess up at the end too. That's my favorite, when they fuck up at the landing, the part nobody cares about. You know, if I tell you, pure gymnastics in your head, or picture gymnastics in your head. None of you picture this, like, and that's the part that ruins it. Oh, that's so funny to me. Like when they're up, they're doing it. Because here's the deal. When they're up there and most of the way through, you know when they think they're crushing it. Anything you're most of the way through, you know when you're crushing it. No matter what, high or low. You could be a garbage man, and you'd be like, not a single broken bag today. You know, 2 more blocks, I'll be garbage man, Hall of Fame. If you're a lawyer, like I put away so many innocent black teenagers this week, you get a little chuckle there, yes. That's a little joke about the U.S. justice system. Fucking whatever brings you joy. And they're up there too, doing all their flips, and they're in their head when they're most of the way. I'm crushing this. I'm going to win the Olympic gold. This is 10 points. Oh, I'm going to be on the cover of the gymnastics Wheaties box or whatever. Endorsement deals. I'm going to be America's sweetheart. And then they have to dismount. They come down and they go, fuck. Assistant high school gymnastics coach. That's the best you can be now. They just want to cry. They're like, do the hands first. They're like sobs. So he's doing like a cry impression here. We're all at home going, you fucking bitch. You're going to embarrass us in front of China like that. I should all be avoided with just this little bit of heroin. You know, same thing, flip, 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 come down, just boom. Okay, so that's a callback to the heroin joke there. So pretty genius. Oopsies. I'm just going to change this to, we're in Ari Shaffir now, just in case anybody joins. So this is a callback. So you can see just here. So he gets this joke. He comes from this premise to this premise. He gets from that joke to this joke. He cuts all the fat. So this is the intro one here, and it only takes him about 1,100 words to get right to it. He gets right to the joke. So some of you may say this is like a low JPM, low jokes per minute rate that he's going with here, but he's got funny references. He's got a little funny reference to the U.S. justice system here, a little bit of a dark joke there. He's got the funny visuals of the heroin addicts stumbling around on the subway. It's not totally low jokes per minute. It's nothing like Joe, but you see how Joe Rogan had so many more jokes. He would have thrown in some jizz, some cum, more maybe gay references. I assume we're going to be getting to that stuff soon with Ari Shaffir, but it's just a very different style. He's basically saying if this person was on heroin, they would stick the landing in gymnastics, which is an absurd premise, which makes for a funny joke because it makes you imagine the funny image. And he gets an audience applause break here. So you can imagine there's a guy standing in front of a bunch of flowers getting a whole bunch of applauses here. So next time you see a heroin addict in your neighborhood, don't go, what the fuck? Go, possible gymnast. Yes. Focus on the positives. That's what I'm trying to say. Here's how I do it. Here's how I stay away from negative shit and stay positive. I, for the last 5 years, have not read or watched the news. Yes, that's very smart to do. That's a good bit of advice generally for you guys. Don't watch the news. It's depressing. It's not funny. I've done the same. I haven't watched the news. I only watch comedy specials. Now, cool. Some of you are on board. It's never good. You really don't have to watch it. I know this is a fucking news town, but it doesn't do you. It's never like, here's a fun summer recipe. No, it's always like, read this article and then cut out 4 of your friends. It's always shitty. People are like, you got to stay informed. And I'm like, I don't think so. Besides the weather, none of it matters to you for real. For real. They try and get you riled up. Like we pulled out of Afghanistan too fast. And I was like, I was never going to go there. My vacation plans didn't come down between Maui and Kabul. And now, fuck neither, I guess. Yes. Laughs and groans. So, that's a little quick joke there about, again, sometimes comedians don't do jokes. Sometimes they just tell good advice. And it's true. You shouldn't care about anything going on around you or want to even know about what's going on other than stuff that's going on in your own life. The news doesn't affect you. The world doesn't affect you. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. It doesn't matter what's going on with other people. You just stay focused on your daily tasks and keep grinding. Don't read the news. I only watch comedy specials and I listen to Tony Robbins' motivational audiobooks. There are news comedians like Alex Jones. That's true. Garble is making a good point there. There's also Steven Crowder does news. David Rubin does good news as well. And it's usually more relevant to you than whatever the mainstream media is talking about. Fucking whatever, says Ari. Tim Pool is a news comedian. Thank you, So Train. I didn't start the fire. Relax. But the little stuff doesn't matter. The big stuff, you will F. Like 9/11, If you weren't watching the news, somebody would have told you about 9/11 by 9/19. Pretty much everybody knew. Guaranteed nobody went downtown New York like Thanksgiving of that year just going like, wait, Where? There were two ones? I thought the two ones were like right here. What happened? So that's a joke about a person being ignorant of a significant news event. Um, you know what I think about sometimes? Who was the last person to find out about 9/11? Like somebody had to be camping, out of cell phone service. You have no idea. Show up at your campsite on 9/9, 4 days of trout fishing. Let the world burn. What do we care? You have no idea what's being planned by the Jews who planned it. Chuckles, yes. So Ari Shafir is a Jewish man, so he can make that joke there. Call all your friends on the ride back in. What are we doing this weekend? No way, bro. Nothing. You're like, what do you mean? Like, because 9/11. And you're like, what? No, I'm talking about 9/14, Friday night. You still find out about stuff, even if you don't read the news. It's true, you do. You do still find out about stuff. That's why, again, you don't need to read the news. You just hear the news from news comics because they'll be funny. Alex Jones, Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, Steven Crowder, great news comedians. And then you've got just your buddy. Just listen to your buddies. Like, don't. The news is so negative. Like, I remember during COVID, the news was like super alarmist. And then my buddy was like, dude, you just take ivermectin and it's fine. Like, why is everybody so worked up? And it was so relaxing. I finally calmed down. I'm like, thank God. My friends told me that Kanye West hates Jews. Did you guys hear that? You've heard that. Wow, I didn't hear it. I was like, where'd you hear that? He was like, oh, it's on his Twitter. I was like, I don't follow him on Twitter. I follow him on Spotify, and he's considerably better on Spotify. Yeah, if you're following one of the best musicians of our lifetime, not on a music site, you are doing it wrong. On Twitter, he's a local lunatic. On Spotify, Jesus walks with him. Chuckles. Dude, I like Kanye West's music so much. When he was like, I hate Jews, I'm like, let's hear him out. Go ahead, Kanye. I have Jewish parents. They can be annoying. What do you have to say? My thing is like, I don't know. Hate Jews if you want, but just like write a song about it. Guess a couple laughs there. We don't have to agree with your message. If it slaps, we'll get behind you. He's done it before. So he's doing like a devil's advocate thing here, right? This is like so a lot of people got really worked up about Kanye West selling Nazi merch and saying anti-Semitic things, but those are regular people that think that way. Ari is a comedian and he has a leveled up brain. His mind is different. It works in different ways, and he's taking the devil's advocate side here, and he's saying, "What if it's fine?" and challenging the audience here. Very good stuff. We don't agree with everything that he says. Kanye West made a hit song calling every woman in here a fucking gold-digging whore. And women all over America were like, play that one. You got me on that one. Ooh, I do expect a fucking nice car. But run that back. That fucking rules. Dude, if you made a fucking banger about Jews, bro, everyone would dance to it. They'd be like, Jews would dance to it. Even if it went hard enough, we'll dance like this. Okay, so he does a dance there. So you just sort of can imagine what Ari Shafir dance is like, which I imagine is very, very, very funny. But we'll still, Kanye is crazy. But I'm like, yeah, I know he's crazy. He's a high-level artist. Yes, that's the thing. People who are very smart could be eccentric. They can have eccentric behavior sometimes. They're all crazy. The high-level guys, the generational guys. They're not like us. They're lunatics. And that's how they're, but they're better. They're better than. I'm a low-level artist, and I'm weird. Oh, interesting. So that's kind of self-deprecating of Ari. He's not a low-level artist. He's on the front page of this transcript website. He's got a Netflix special. And most importantly, he is friends with Joseph Rogan from this that we were just exploring before. So I wouldn't say he's a low-level artists don't hang out on the number one podcast in America. So give me a break. The high-level artists are all fucking lunatics, That's Always been, by the way. That's not new. Remember Van Gogh? You think he was chill to be around? Bro, he cut his ear off, made beautiful paintings. But if you're like, should we invite Van Gogh to the party? Do not invite Van Gogh to the party on Saturday. He'll ruin the party. Same thing with Kanye West. Nothing but bangers for 20 years. If he walked in here right now, I would evacuate the building. Gets a couple chuckles there. The highest level guys are all crazy, like Michael Jackson. You gotta rape. Interesting. So I don't know if you gotta. I think that, you know, this is all new information to me. I didn't think that high level guys gotta rape. I thought that was sort of a indicative of a criminal behavior there, but Ari's. This is probably a joke here. This is probably just a joke here. People are like, Kanye's sick. And I'm like, yeah, he's a sick fuck. He likes a quick fuck. I know all about him. He fucking rules. He made a fucking gospel album that's as good as Aretha Franklin's. You don't get that by being one of us. You know, I'm just telling you, next time your fucking local artist or whatever, anybody like fucking acts up, just like, sweet, we're gonna get another Donda. You don't want a well-behaved artist. It's not what you're looking for. You know what you're gonna get with a well-behaved artist? Jimmy Fallon. Oh man, Jimmy Fallon fucking sucks. Nobody gives a shit about Jimmy Fallon. If he dies, his gravestone will say, "Here lies replaceable." So a dig at Jimmy Fallon, host of The Tonight Show. The Tonight Show is on something called television, which people used to watch in the old days. It was like everyone would gather around and watch the TV. People stopped watching it a long time ago, but Jimmy he's still doing it, just for the love of the chicken strips. But yeah, great little rant here from Ari Shaffir talking about the high-level intelligent people often act completely insane and anti-Semitic, and like people like Michael Jackson can often rape as well. So great nuggets of information there. Interesting worldview. Again, it's a lot of it is bits. I don't know if Ari believes all this or if he's just being edgy just for the joke. I don't know a lot about Ari's private life, but I assume the wackier he acts, the smarter he must be. That's an angle I had never considered before, but it's true. You really do think, Kanye might be, he might say anti-Semitic things, and Michael Jackson may have assaulted various underage people. But at the end of the day, these are artists up there with Duke Ellington and Bill Evans and Johann Sebastian Bach, and all those people famously did rape and say anti-Semitic things. So it's just kind of the rules of the game. He is spitting a lot of truth here. You can't deny it. You guys on the stream, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. We got through Joe Rogan. We're going to look at another comedian coming up here. A little bit of Ari Shaffir, just because I haven't seen his stand-up special, and I thought I'd explore the transcript. I'm going to download this transcript, print it out, and read it as I go to bed tonight, just to get some of that philosophy. Lunar Spunk says, never wrap it up. I should stream for longer. I should do maybe I'll do a big old marathon stream. I do stream Rumble as well. We're going to be doing that every week. If we do a bonus stream at all, I'll give you guys at least 24 hours notice. It looks like it's going to be a rainy weekend here where I am, so maybe I'll do a stream this weekend. But I'll let you know in the Discord and on the community page on our YouTube channel. Thank you all for watching so much. That's been a lovely time. Hopefully I'll get this capitalist ticker working. Thank you for all your donations. It helps me buy food and helps me buy nautical charts. Thank you all so much again for watching. I'm gonna end it here, and I'll see you all very, very soon. We've got a new video coming out, I believe, tomorrow. Hope to see you there in the comments. I'll be watching with all you guys along with that, and see you very shortly. Good night.